Okay, so I wanted to make a really easy, quick, simple tutorial on how to draw a monster, because who doesn't like monsters? Okay, so you can download my brushes and use Graffiti Brush. If not, just use any brush that's similar to this. So just a thick, hard brush. If you're using my brushes, you can use Graffiti Brush. And that you can download that in the link in the description. I always change my background color to like a grayish. You can use white, doesn't really matter, but I like to use a grayish, just easier on the eyes. And for colors, I'm going to use just kind of like a dark beige. But you can really use any color, but I like a dark beige. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're just going to make like a soft rectangle. Okay, so we just made like just kind of a soft rectangle. We'll put it in the middle. We'll make sure he's in the middle. It doesn't have to be perfect. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take the eraser, use the same brush, Graffiti Brush. Just erase 2 circles. Alright, so we have our beige, we have our 2 erased circles. So now we're going to take the same brush and we're going to make a C shape. And you want it a little thicker here and a little thinner at the edges. Okay, looks good so far. So now what we're going to do is going to take that layer and hit alpha lock. And then we're going to take our beige, and then we're going to take like a dark brown, darkish red, and we're going to switch to a soft airbrush. We'll make it really big, and we're just going to give him a nice two-tone color, and just sort of give him a nice dark fade. Okay. So we're going to make a new layer, and then we're going to bring our first layer above, so the new layer is on the bottom. And I'm going to label this eyes and mouth. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take the color black. We're going to go back to Graffiti Brush, and we're just going to fill in behind the first layer. Alright, and now we're going to go to sort of like a, not very red, sort of in the middle between red and white, and then down a little bit. So in the middle of red and white, and then we're just going to move it down a little bit. That should be pretty good. And then you're just going to fill this in here. And next, we're gonna take like a more pinkish color. So you kind of want to come over closer to the white until you have a nice pink color. And then you're just going to do 2 round. So just do 2 little arcs that touch in the middle. Now we take the same brush and the color white, and you just make a circle here, so only half of it shows. Alright. So now we're going to go up to our first alpha locked layer, and we're going to go back to that red, whatever the dark color you did for the fading. We're going to go back to our soft brush, and we're going to put the soft brush in the middle. And then you slowly go in a circle, just so it starts to color the outside of the black. There we go. So just make sure your brush isn't too big. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go back to our original color, the original beige, and we're going to go to graffiti brush, and then we're going to bring the opacity down to about 20%. Make sure we're on the right layer. And then we're just going to just make a line right at the edge of the bottom part of his mouth. So we just start here. And just make a line on the bottom part of his mouth. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take that same brown that we used before, and we're going to make a new layer, and we're going to put it on the bottom. And we're going to label that one ears. Okay, so the only thing we're going to do here is just make like a, whoops, let's bring our brush back up to 100%. And we'll just make a circle like that, or sort of like a half circle. His ear is going a little crazy over here. There we go. So now we're going to take the same color we did for the inside of the mouth. You can either choose it from the box or you can just color grab it from here. And then we're just going to do the same thing but smaller. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to make a new layer, and we're going to put that one on the bottom. And then we're going to take our brown, the same brown, and we're going to make it a little darker. So we're on the bottom layer. I'm going to start from here, and I'm going to go all the way around to the bottom. So it's sort of like a heart. And just make it come to a point at the bottom. We'll do the same thing on this side. And now you can just color drop that so it's all the same color. I'm just going to give him some little bumps on his head. We're going to make this color a little darker. And we're going to make sure we alpha lock that layer. So we'll hit alpha lock on the bottom layer. I'm going to take the soft airbrush again. And I'm just slowly going to airbrush here. Slowly going to airbrush behind his little ear. And then under his chin. And behind his other little ear. And last but not least, we're just going to go to white. And we're going to go back to graffiti brush. We're going to add a new layer on top. And we're going to bring graffiti brush down to 30%. I'm just going to make 2 jelly beans. And then we're going to bring it back up to 100%. Bring the opacity down, or bring the size down. I'm just going to add 2 little dots. Okay, so now we can merge all those. We can duplicate it. We're just going to go to black. We're going to tap on the layer, and we're going to go fill layer. And we're going to make sure the new layer is not alpha locked. Then we're going to go to the magic wand, Gaussian blur, layer, and we're going to give him a little blur, and then we're going to move that layer. We can move it down. Let's try down. And then we're going to duplicate that. We're going to go to the bottom one. We're going to go back to Gaussian blur, layer, and then we're going to blur that one a lot more. But we're going to bring the opacity of the layer down. Bring it down to about 38%, 37%. I'm going to merge all these so then I can make them a little smaller. And there you go. A happy little monster.